Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Excuse me! Taxi!
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Well, John, everybody is talking, of course, about this new video that was just put out. It shows the activist, Alex Pretti, really going after ICE.
And that's the one that ended up getting himself killed in Minneapolis.
Yeah, this is the guy who got killed 11 days later.
He was going around kicking cars.
Yeah, and John, not just kicking. Yeah. He's like kicking out the taillights. I mean, brutally kicking out and spitting
at
officers.
Yeah, he spit, he kicked, he punched, he did everything he shouldn't have done.
Yeah, had a gun at that time too.
He was a wise ass.
Yeah, and also not only that, let's forget, and I'm looking at Judge Weinberg, that's a crime. You don't go after somebody, you don't go after a federal agent, damage property, and have a gun.
If you're carrying a gun, it jumps it from a misdemeanor to a felony.
And so they could have busted his butt that
right
day.
Down there
exactly.
For a felony.
And they tried to arrest him. That's the other thing. If you look at the whole footage, I've been looking at that footage, you see them like tussling with him, and you see him completely resisting arrest. This is 11 days before, very agitated, out of control. We played it last night on the show, and you had to bleep it every 5 seconds because it's it's horrible.
Yeah. It's not only horrible. I mean, it's sad that he lost his life.
Absolutely.
But he basically provoked the situation. I don't think that, you don't go after federal agents. You don't kick their vehicles. You don't spit at them.
Yeah.
You don't attack them. It's not the right thing to do. Listen, having a firearm and doing this makes it even worse.
Yeah, and dangerous too. Gov Patterson.
Well, I was doing the left versus the right later on that day, and people seemed really upset at how they had treated this man, and I took the law enforcement side because I said if he started interfering or something like that, that's going to happen to someone. Then, when the video came out and it seemed to tell a different story, I felt really bad and thought, next time I get on this show, I'm going to have to apologize for that. But now I don't have to, because now that the second video has come out, it's clear that he was provoking the police.
Yeah, it keeps flipping and flopping the story as we get new details. And you have to wonder too, he was clearly on the radar because he was a provocateur. It seems from the video. That's my opinion when you look at it. And there was another instance where he said his rib was broken, according to a friend. I don't know if it's the same one as this 11 days earlier. But what does this say about his character? Well, you guys, we have with us now Charles Marino. He is former Homeland Security Department advisor, also former Secret Service agent and a top security expert. Charles, what do you glean from this new footage? What does it say about Alex Pretti?
Well, this certainly gives us a lot of insight into his predisposition to confront law enforcement as an obstructionist and also to violence. And so this will feed into the event that took place a week later, where deadly force needed to be utilized against him. It will be treated from an investigative standpoint as two separate incidents, but look, it's got to add to the greater context of the mindset of Pretti here and truly what he was on the street doing and what he wanted to achieve. And it seems like he was out there to become an obstructionist and was not hesitative in terms of some type of encounter with law enforcement while armed.
I want to ask you, Charles, your perspective as a law enforcement guy, long time. What does that do when you have somebody who's out of control? Because now this video, the one 11 days earlier, that's got to be a scary situation because you got a guy who's chasing after a vehicle that he knows has ICE inside, the ICE agents inside. He's violently kicking it out to the point where the backlight, the light comes out of its, out of its socket. It's
hanging on the side
down.
of the car.
So that's like a couple kicks. He's like brutally kind of kicking it, spitting at them, shouting vile things, and then they try to tackle him. He's resisting arrest. So how dangerous is dealing with someone like that who clearly is out of control, and he had a gun 11 days earlier too?
Well, it's very dangerous because it, again, illustrates the detriment of sanctuary city policies, because if this were collaborative in nature with state and locals, you would have had local law enforcement out there protecting ICE and CBP officers as they were trying to execute these operations, and they would have handled that problem. And in most cases, they would have prevented it. They would have prevented the confrontation between federal agents and Pretti. So that's the first thing. Everything that we see on the ground here, we know, has been devised on purpose by Governor Walz and Mayor Fry to create the exact hectic environment that we're seeing there on the ground. That's what they wanted to achieve.
Well, the governor and the mayor of Minnesota, these people are trying to wiggle out of a bigger problem. So they appreciate these agitators coming out and doing what they're doing because it's distracting from the $9 billion that the Somali community stole from the taxpayers, from the country. Okay, so they appreciate all of these protesters, and they appreciate all of the organizations that are paying these protesters to do what they're doing. These are paid protesters. People don't go out 10 degrees below zero or 10 degrees to protest on their own. You know, these organizations take their time planning these things and doing what they have to do in order to interrupt a situation. But you do not go after law enforcement. I see the way NYPD police officers are treated here in the streets of New York, and I feel upset, angry at the fact that no one's respecting these men and women that are supposed to protect us. So it's about time that the leaders, that the politicians support law enforcement so that people understand that they have the support they need so that people don't disrespect them.
Well, I agree with you. I think what we're seeing on the ground in Minneapolis is absolutely a diversionary tactic from the bigger problems of fraud that the politicians have. So there's no doubt in my mind about that. But sanctuary policies are pretty consistent in that they're not going to let ICE into the jails to identify more quickly those public safety and national security threats that are already in custody, which is why I think in spirit, what Tom Homan was talking about this morning regarding Minnesota honoring these detainer orders on immigration is an important first step. Now, let's see if they follow through, but also to get state and local law enforcement to at least provide a level of protection and response to incidents. Nobody wants these state and local authorities in these sanctuary cities to participate in immigration enforcement. We don't expect that. They didn't expect that during the Obama administration. But what you don't expect is them to incite, threaten, and obstruct federal agents. That's where it becomes a problem. But you're right. It's to take away the attention from this massive fraud investigation that's going on right now. And as far as the numbers, what Tom Homan was talking about, Rita, look, this is common sense. He's been very transparent with the Trump administration, saying if you don't collaborate with us in any way possible, then expect to see a greater number of federal agents on the ground. That's just the way it has to be.
Yeah, exactly. He's pretty clear with it. Either do this or else still. Charles, thank you so much. Really great to get your perspective. It's such a big, important topic, and great to have you here on the show. Thanks, Charles.
Thank you so much.
Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the pain points of wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.